What is Inspire Library? InspireLibrary.org is first a library, second a production studio on both computers and phones. It curates and produces quality stories of inspiration shared worldwide. What kinds of stories are in Inspire Library? Stories in the library are stories of inspiration. Stories in the library aren't simply stories of exemplary good guys. They aren't simply good guys fighting bad guys, or humble guys hanging in there and succeeding. Stories of inspiration in the library start with a challenge, with things getting worse, sometimes because of the condition of the character's heart, and then come to a moment of inspiration, which leads to a result, with the things getting better, and a principle learned, CHIRP for short, said like Italian. Research shows that CHIRP stories are the most engaging and heart-changing stories to tell. Great literature and sacred texts are full of these stories. The challenge draws us in to care about the main character. The inspiration and result and principle learned by the character help us learn and change with the character. Learning from a well-told story takes longer than just being told, but it's more effective in character building. Leave out any element of a story of inspiration or tell them in a different order, like starting with the principle learned, and the story is going to be much less effective and memorable. Some stories in the library are written stories of inspiration. Some are audio and many are video. Some are movie clips. Some include commentary. Most are short. Some are longer. Some stories focus on religious inspiration and some on moral inspiration and change of heart. Some focus on inspiration from nature or books or other people. Inspiration from any of these types of sources helps you freely choose new ways of dealing with challenges in your life. What can you do in Inspire Library? On your own or in groups you join, you can view, comment on, and share stories meant to bring strength, peace, and healing to the storyteller and to those facing similar experiences. You can search by keywords in the upper right bar for challenges you or someone you know is facing. You can easily share a story on social media or share a link in another way to friends and family. And you can share your story on the library worldwide. Everyone has stories of inspiration to tell. And viewing, commenting on, and sharing those in the library prepares you to recognize and tell your family stories of inspiration. You aren't simply telling a chronological story of what happened. You are looking for challenges faced and inspiration received in dealing with those challenges. Research shows that the most resilient children are those who know these types of stories about their family. You can start telling family stories of inspiration by submitting one at inspirelibrary.org/submit. It may help to imagine you are telling your story to a friend or family member you want to share it with later. What can you do in groups at the library? Groups can help you tell your family stories. Accomplished writers often say the most important thing for them is to be in a group with other writers and confer with each other and get feedback and suggestions on their writing drafts. If you go to My Groups under the account icon at the upper right, you will see groups you can join and what they are doing and what type of members they are looking for. You can also start a group there. You will find groups with story sharers who help you recognize and understand and share stories of inspiration. You will find groups with story scouts who will help you find stories of inspiration in your family histories. You will even find groups who will help you go on to a film fast, to stop watching films without inspiration and focus on a diet of films with stories of inspiration, like those with clips on the view page in the library. To Kill a Mockingbird is an example. Based on family histories told in the city, it took 2 years to edit together as a book read worldwide and became a classic film with powerful scenes of inspiration. With a healthy diet of films like that, you will start seeing stories of inspiration all around you. You will also find groups who will help you polish and video your family stories of inspiration. You can tell your stories in written or audio form and get them posted in the library. Or if you want, a group can help turn your story into a short documentary or a narrative video. Research shows that videos are shared 4 times as often. All a group needs to video your story is a 4K phone, a $40 mic, and a computer. All a group needs to compose original music for your story is real instruments or voice to be recorded, or virtual instruments with a MIDI keyboard and a sequencer. A group can help you tell your story in 4 stages for a documentary or 8 for a narrative. With a documentary, you tell your story on video and you show along the way what you're talking about with photos and video clips, your B-roll. With a narrative, you or actors reenact your story and tell some of your story as voiceover. Your group confers and gets suggestions on each stage before going on to the next. This is the most effective, professionally proven way of telling quality stories efficiently. A group can help you understand the free training materials in the library. Some of the very best professional software for videoing your stories is now free, dropped into our laps, and it isn't hard for a group to use them like professionals. How will a group you join work in the library? Your group will report weekly about what each of you did the last week and hopes to do the coming week. It's a brief weekly meeting of return and report and plan. Writers in your group will polish submitted stories to get them ready to appear in the library. Videographers and composers will video quality stories that appear in the library. Their videoing and composing will build on the quality of the written stories. They won't try to compensate for poorly written stories. They will do everything they can to bring out the quality of the stories that make them engaging and heart-changing. As your group works on stories and stages, you may well be invited to peer review stages. When you peer review, you and your storyteller are emailed a half-hour video meeting invitation during a mutually available review slot to discuss a current stage of a story and get suggestions on how to improve it. Your group may also invite a staff reviewer to the group, a professional who will have final say on whether your group is ready to go on to the next stage of a story, so you finish efficiently with a quality story or video posted in the library. Groups that peer and staff review stages of their stories can know their stories will appear in the library when they are done. Those who don't review in stages can submit their completed stories, which may appear in the library. Could your group work on a long family story of inspiration? Doing short documentaries and narratives prepares you to work on features and series on our mother site, Plotza.com. It is all the same process, only more is added, like subplots. For example, one of our users is helping to develop a feature script about his Italian ancestors. It is based on extensive historical research by a cousin of his in Italy. It is called Sam Knight Warrior. It is being written by a screenwriter in Bologna and one in Rome. Their synopsis is about to go to distributors and lead actors. How do you learn about all of this in more detail? Contact us at inspirelibrary.org/contact, and we will show you around the library in more detail.